What am I supposed to do with this now? Is probably what you're thinking. This is a Cobb V3 access port, and this is a flex fuel kit that I just bought a month ago. And now cannot use Cobb software to install their product into my car. Awesome. But if you are watching this video, don't panic, because this is not the end of modifying cars. This is just one company that is doing this. There's lots of other options out there for tuning, but before we get into that, I'm not going to go through and read the whole article that Cobb put out because I'm sure you guys have already read it and you know enough about it. I'm just going to go through some key points that I see in there that directly affect me and most likely affect you guys if you guys are excessively modifying your Subarus more than just an OTS map or anything like that. But the biggest thing that I'm upset about right now is we're about to send it in the hatch and we're going to put this flex fuel sensor in. And now you either need to go with an open source tune, a different piggyback tuning software completely, or you need to get a standalone ECU in order to run a proper flex fuel tune. Now, one thing I did see in the Cobb article is that you still can tune for E85, which you will still need an ethanol sensor to read the ethanol content in your gas tank or in the fuel lines going to the sensor, but your ECU is just not going to compensate for any type of blend. If you have E60, if you have E70, you need to make sure that your gas tank is very, very low and you fill it completely with E85. Because like I said, your ECU is no longer going to make adjustments to compensate for any type of blend. So this whole ethanol sensor kit is pretty much put on hold now. I haven't decided if I'm gonna try and return it or anything like that. I did hear a rumor, I'm not sure if this is true, but I did hear a rumor that Cobb was possibly taking these flex fuel kits back if you bought them in the past year. So I might look into that so we can get parts for the Civic and boost that thing for now. And the biggest thing about this change in the Cobb software for me is I live in Canada and we don't have any emission regulations in Alberta, at least. So any of us that use the Cobb software and we don't have any laws against it, this sucks that Cobb just absolutely dropped this bomb on us with absolutely no warning. I mean, we all knew it was coming, but they could have at least given a fair warning about it, maybe 60 days, 90 days, something like that. Just a warning so some of us would be like, okay, maybe I can start saving up for a standalone instead of buying an access port or buying a flex fuel kit from them or anything like that. One thing I do know for sure is I spoke to my local tuner and he said that there is I believe it's a 10 to 14 day grace period for tuners to keep using their old software. So if you guys just finished a build up, make sure you're booking your dyno days in the next week or so. Last thing I want to say before I get into the article is that this access port is not completely garbage now. Like everybody is saying, this is garbage now, I can't use it for anything, and that is not true at all. This is still an amazing tool for your car. You can read check engine codes. You can go through and read so many different parameters in your car while you are driving it, and it has that 6-gauge display that you can still monitor while you're driving. None of that is gone. All they did was get rid of any emission related deleting products, the ability to alter any of the emission delete related DTCs in the Access Tuner software, and a couple other things, and I'm gonna go through them in their article and just highlight some of the important things that I saw. So first thing that I saw in here was related to the Access Tuner software. And it says the ability to suppress certain DTCs directly associated with the operation of the following systems has been removed. Any other DTCs that are not related to these have been unchanged. Nothing is changed about them. It is only these select few that Cobb has changed. Your oxygen sensors, EGT sensors, so your exhaust gas temp sensors, three-way catalysts, which is catalytic converters, EGR systems, stratified warm-up, tumble generator valves, so your TGVs, secondary air injection, which is your air pump that everybody loves to delete, and any evap system codes. So if you delete your purge valves like I did, or your charcoal canister, or anything like that, all of those DTCs will remain in the system and you cannot delete them out anymore. And the same thing goes with toggling any of these, like I just said. All of those same systems, you're not able to toggle or adjust any of those parameters in the Access Tuner software. Another big thing that I saw, which is why I'm upset because I just got the flex fuel kit, is we have removed both the analog Nissan and Subaru flex fuel feature sets. So there is no more flex fuel like I said before, but you still can tune for just E85 and you you can make a separate tune for pump gas. Here's the big thing for me that I'm confused about, because they have it listed in the article as Nissan GTR speed density tuning. So I'm not sure if this applies to Subarus directly as well. And it would upset me a lot if it did, because speed density is not an emission related thing. You do not have to delete any emissions to run speed density in your car. Speed density is just a different method of reading airflow into the engine. And pretty much all Dodge, Chrysler vehicles run speed density from factory. And there's a whole bunch of different methods that automotive manufacturers use to read airflow, like speed density, mass airflow, Kármán vortex, which is a pretty old one, and it was super expensive. But anyways, there was a whole bunch of different ones that they used. The reason most manufacturers went with mass airflow base is because it was the most efficient and cost-effective design that they could use, because you're including an IAT sensor inside of the MAP sensor. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone there. Whereas with speed density, you need an individual intake air temp sensor and you need your MAP sensor to read your manifold pressure. But the article says Nissan GTR speed density tuning. Because the speed density tuning system, once implemented, cannot be reverted to stock or removed from the ROM, which means read-only memory in an ECU, and this system indirectly alters certain OBD diagnostic tests, we have removed this feature / option from our updated software systems. Now, if that's only for GTRs, that is still upsetting for GTR owners, because I think that's honestly stupid in my opinion, but I don't know if that's for Subarus yet. So if any of you guys have any more information, or any of you guys know about the speed density aspect of this Cobb Green Speed update, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys know, because I'd love to get more information on this as well. The next thing that I saw was the automatic / required software update. So this is basically saying if you update your access port, this is automatically going to update your access port to the Green Speed compliant version of the software. And they're saying that all old versions of this software will cease to exist as soon as you update it. But the good news here is, if you guys are lucky, kind of like me in a way, I did want to go on flex fuel and now I can't, but I did get the car pro tuned last year on pump gas. So my entire setup here is still gonna work as long as I do not update my access port and do not plug it into my computer. As long as I just leave it in the car, I can still run that tune. I'm not gonna have issues with it. They can't just automatically, through the clouds, update an access port that hasn't been connected to the internet. So my advice to you guys is, if you already have a pro tune and you don't want to spend money and get a standalone ECU and have your car retuned, don't plug your access port into your computer, because you're gonna lose it all. And this is what I mean by you're gonna lose it all if you update your access port. They say, how will the workflow change with the new / updated software? When an existing map is loaded into the software, if it contains an active delete feature, which would mean deleting codes for TGVs, the air pump, anything like that, you will be presented with a workflow to review the delete feature and accept its removal. So you won't be able to do anything until you accept the removal of that tune that you already have loaded in your car with all of the deletes that you've done. Then they go to say, we have made a number of changes to help you quickly identify the elements within a file / calibration that require modification. Sweet, they're gonna help us quickly identify that this guy has all these deletes in the car, like we don't know already. Now, Cobb goes on to say at the end of this message that they're a market leader and sometimes they need to make important decisions to address different market changes and different law changes and stuff like that. And that's all good. I totally understand that. It's a business and the government controls the products that you are allowed to put out, and they're just trying to stay afloat, which I totally understand that. But obviously everybody still thinks it sucks. Cobb, for Subarus and a lot of other automotive manufacturers, just made things easy. It's something that you can just plug into your car and start adjusting stuff for a very, very cheap price. Access ports are usually about $750 in that range, and I'd say a standalone ECU, you're probably looking at anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500, depending how good of quality you want to get. They can even jump up to $4,000 to $5,000 if you get a really, really good quality one. Like Motec, like Haltech, or even AEM makes some standalone ECUs that are really, really good. So I guess the point of this video mostly is to reach out to you guys. What do you guys think of all of this that's going on? I live in Alberta, Canada, so usually this stuff doesn't affect me, but now because such a big manufacturer that I've installed a lot of parts from on my car has done this. Now the emission stuff is finally starting to affect me. And if you guys are new to the channel, I have a 2010 STI hatchback with a ETS rotated turbo kit, GTX 3576R with the ETS front mount, IAG Competition Series AOS, which vents straight to atmosphere. Again, not allowed on Cobb software anymore. I deleted all the evap system in this car, which is not allowed on Cobb software anymore. And I deleted my TGVs, which is also not allowed on Cobb software anymore. It's got a tile blow-off valve, it's running on speed density, it's got a Cobb catback, Mishimoto radiator, radium fuel plumbing kit, Cobb 1300cc injectors, and a whole bunch of IAG mounts. And if I stay on the Cobb software, this car's not gonna run. So my options now are either to not update the access port and I can run on this tune for a while, or we could ball out, buy a standalone ECU and get this thing on E85 and start making all the sauce. Which is a tough pill to swallow, but unfortunately, it seems like that's the way that the automotive industry is going, and it seems like there's not really much we can do about it. One thing I will say about this though, there is certain things that aren't really limiting your horsepower output of the car. Like TGVs, for example, yeah, they're a little bit restrictive, but it's not gonna make or break making 500 horsepower in these cars. You might lose maybe 5-10 horsepower of restricted air, maybe, but it's not gonna make or break you getting to your horsepower goals. Another thing is the air pump. Most people with these Subarus delete the air pump because it quits working, and it's a very costly thing to replace. When block off plates were like 50 bucks. So everybody would just buy block off plates, slap them on there, delete the codes, you're good to go. But unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. What I'm interested to see here is what do companies like ETS start doing with their rotated turbo kits that they've been building for years that have a completely straight downpipe. No cats whatsoever in it. Are they gonna start coming out with downpipes that have cats in them for us? Or where do we go with this? I don't know. I just thought I'd make a video about this, let you guys know what my thoughts are on it, and maybe we can get a conversation going in the comments on what you guys think about it. I think Cobb's just doing what they gotta do to stay afloat, which I totally understand, like I said before, but we're trying to do race car things and you're not letting us do race car things anymore. But the thing about the automotive industry is we're never gonna quit. No matter what companies shut down the manufacturing of certain parts, someone else is always gonna come in and start making something. Whether it's from a different country where there is no emission regulations, or pretty soon, this is gonna be literally black market, like drug dealing car parts. I swear to God, people are gonna be selling TGV deletes on the dark web, and it's gonna become a crime to be buying TGV deletes like you're buying drugs or something. And we're just trying to have fun in our cars. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to talk about it, get your guys' opinions on it, see what you guys think. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this maybe put you at ease a little bit, not to freak out, because there is other options out there. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff so I can keep building these cars and having fun doing it with you guys. Peace out. I will catch you guys in the next one.